You're listening to RTE Radio 1 at 5:30, where it's time for Monica Moody and her guests.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm not modern enough for you, Orla, but Niamh Brannach's sex education programme sickens me. I've already lost one child to the gay underworld, Orla Gear, and I'm damned if I'll see my daughter, Ciara, put off sex for life by being forced to watch the Minister for Education having sex in her classroom and without the supervision of a teacher. The very idea of it makes my flesh crawl, Orla. And if the plan goes through, I'll have no choice but to take Ciara out of school completely. Remind me to ask her which one she goes to, lovey. I'm ready, John.
And it was then I saw him buck naked running through the field, mad with the drink.
Oh, look, we can talk more about Tomás McGilla after the show, Father Tom. We're on air. And welcome to the Monica Moody Show, and a very special welcome to all the bishops listening today.
Hello!
I have a lot of fans amongst the hierarchy, Dana.
Lovely.
My postbag bulges with bishops' pastorals every week. And I'd just like to say to each and every one of you that I, Monica Moody, support you wholeheartedly. And I hope by the time you finally emerge from your hiding places,
Your priest's holes.
I hope the world will be a kinder place and the media will be more responsible and that the threatened dart strike will be over. Isn't it awful?
Yes, indeed. The rail workers' unions, while highlighting legitimate grievances, have thrown the national rail network into complete disarray.
Absolutely, former world leader. They just don't want to work. That's their problem. And meanwhile, millions of innocent Southsiders can't get into town.
Well,
Take
true.
people off the dole, Garrett. That's what I say. Take them off the dole, sober them up, and let them drive the dart. It can't be that difficult.
Well, Monica, it's actually much more difficult than it looks.
Oh, it's a straight line, for God's sake, Garrett Fitzgerald. Obviously, there are difficulties on the north side, threats to personal safety and what have you, but it can't be that hard.
Well, au contraire.
And meanwhile, they should take the train drivers out and shoot them.
What?
I'll do it myself if I have to. I feel very strongly about it, Dana. I'm with the bishops on this one. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Absolutely, Monica. It's kill or be killed.
And speaking of shooting, I'm joined in studio today by ace markswoman Davina Stevenson.
Hello, Monica.
More later. Father Tom Doughty.
Good evening.
Dr. Garrett Fitzgerald.
Hi there.
Donna.
Hello, everybody.
Tinker Festio Flaherty. We also have our resident musical director, Carmen Sita Hederman. We've Orla Gearin at the coffee bar, and we're joined again by Radio Ulster's pride and joy, Jackie Kelly. Welcome, Jackie.
Hello, Monica, and a big Belfast welcome to all our listeners. I'm actually a bit jet-lagged today, Monica, because myself and the gorgeous Dana just flew back home yesterday morning from the States, where we've been hard at work promoting the Stop the Killing charity
Stop the
record.
killing.
I know. You've done marvellous work, both of you. And I'm told the record is flying out of the shop so fast it'll make you vomit.
Vomit.
That's right, Monica. We got a terrific reaction. And I'd just like to thank all our friends in America for looking after us so well. And a special Belfast thank you to the members of the Chicago Pan-Celtic Brits Out Brigade who organised the trip.
It was great, Monica. Well, once they took the hoods off us. Thanks very much, everybody. And I hope the record is a huge hit.
So do I, Donna. Thousands of lives, the tears of millions of unborn children,
Indeed.
and the future of a divided community depend on it getting to number one.
Please God.
Now, charity. Isn't it awful? If it's not the Vincent de Paul clawing at your door, it's the Tinkers. More later. The housewives of Ireland are under siege, but one group of women is fighting back. Davina Stevenson, welcome.
Hello, Monica. Nice to be here.
Now, Davina, you're president of an organisation that I personally admire hugely. Mothers Against Charity Collection Days. Tell us about your work, lovey.
Okay, well, Monica, we in Mothers Against
organise charity collection days are very concerned about the number of what we in the organisation call Makey Uppy Charity Days, by which we mean Carnation Day, Daffodil Day, Rose Week, Easter Bonnet Day, Sunflower Day, Red Ribbon Day, Red Nose Day, Green Nose Day, Brown Nose Day.
I know, all those awful little paper flowers and bonnets and gewgaws. Garrett Fitzgerald is always covered in them, Davina.
This one's a dandelion.
So what does your organisation do exactly?
Right, well, we have set up a 24-hour watch at all street corners in the Glenageary area where we're based. We're quite a small operation at the moment. And basically we report in if we see a charity collector with a tray of flowers or other awful gizmos in the locality.
Gizmo, I've got a gizmo.
Yes.
Put it away,
And-
Fitzgerald.
Then we neutralise the collector.
And how exactly do you do that, lovey?
Right, well, we carry lightweight weapons, especially adapted to suit all operators because many of our members are young mothers carrying small children.
Like myself.
Yes, so all our members are supplied with these special fiberglass pellet guns, and then the group leaders are armed with standard revolvers.
Which you shoot the charity collectors with, is that right?
Yeah, well, now, we try not to use the revolvers. They're sort of a final measure, if you like. We also carry electric boat guns, which we use to destroy guide dogs on Makey Uppy blind collection days.
Poor doggies.
Oh, don't worry, Dana. It's actually all very clean and humane because I know people get hot and bothered about that kind of thing these days.
Tell me about it, lovey. You destroy a couple of stray spaniels who fouled your flower bed, and you practically get the entire ISPCA down on top of you.
I thought it was the ISPCC you had around, Monica.
No, in fairness, that was something else entirely, Garrett.
Monica, can I ask the lovely lady, do you destroy all charity collectors?
Oh, no, not at all, Jackie. Oh, gosh, that would be a bit extreme. No. We merely target those charities who have made key-up days and who try to dupe the people of Ireland into wearing foliage or other such nonsense on their lapels. I mean, we've nothing against your regular beg at the bottom of Henry Street charities, though we do have a shoot-to-kill policy regarding students with clipboards.
I don't like
Right.
But we're not anti-charity by any means.
No.
We've even declared a ceasefire over Christmas so that carol singers could ply their trade without the fear of being gunned down in broad daylight by our members.
You know, I used to teach Christmas carols to the little black children in Africa. They'd all sit around me in a semicircle, all their lovely little black faces looking up at me as if they were begging for knowledge. Father Tom Doughty, they used to say. Father Tom Doughty, Lenten observer extraordinaire, give us knowledge.
Lovely.
Of course, we weren't so lucky in Africa, and there was a good few of those children gunned down when they went around the villages shaking the old tin.
Yes, well, that's Africa for you, of course. I mean, we would like to think we're more Christian over here.
Oh, that's true.
Magic. So, Davina, to sum up, charity collectors who go round with their favours emblazoned on their lapels will be shot on sight in the Glenageary area.
That's right. And we're hoping to spread the campaign to cover the whole of Dublin by Rose Week.
Well, it can't come soon enough for me, or for the bishops of Ireland either, for that matter, Davina. Now, Eurovision. Isn't it marvellous?
Yes, indeed. I always get terribly excited at this time of year. It brings back so many memories.
I can imagine, lovey. Flashbacks, aftershocks, stop the killing.
Stop the killing.
You know, whenever I think of Eurovision, I always remember Butch Moore walking the streets in the rain. Do you remember that, Monica?
I prefer not to be honest, Jackie. Now, this year's contest is to be held in Dublin. It was a disaster in Mill Street last year.
Disaster.
And Gerry Ryan and Cynthia Niweraku are presenting it.
A double tragedy.
And I think we all know who's going to be number one on Cynthia's guest list, don't we, Garrett?
No, actually.
Van Morrison, Garrett. She's secretly engaged to him.
No, Monica, you're thinking of Michelle Rocca there, though. I'm not sure that she is actually engaged to him.
Well, I'm relieved, Father Tom. I hate to think of Cynthia lying under that man. I wake up every night screaming just thinking about it. And I'm sure that Cynthia's father, Liam O'Mwaraku, does as well.
Monica, I'm not sure that Liam O'Mwaraku is actually Cynthia's father.
Slander, Garrett. That's slander, and I
What?
won't have it on my show. Anyway, with the exception of Bibi, everybody in the country is looking forward to this year's contest.
Yes.
But for our own Father Tom Doughty, it's going to be a hellish ordeal. Tell us why, Father Tom.
Well, Monica, as you know, I spent a great deal of time in Africa on the mission.
Yes, we do know.
Aren't you marvellous, Father Tom? Tell me, how did you get that extraordinary tattoo out there?
No, I got that one in Capel Street the land before last. It was a tradition in rural Ireland. See, it's their Holy Family. If I ripple me tummy, it looks like they're fleeing into Egypt.
Fascinating, but go on, Father Tom.
Well, when I was in Africa, I became aware that it was a troubled place. It was a beautiful, magical, but tragic land that was ravaged by war, famine, and horror.
I know, Winnie Mandela, go
Well,
on.
it occurred to me during my time with the lovely children of the Dark Continent that Africa wasn't Europe. It just wasn't the same. And I realized that the fundamental difference between the two continents was that they didn't have the Eurovision Song Contest in Africa. And that as a direct result, the continent was ravaged by war and famine.
And so you began to campaign for Africa to be admitted to the Eurovision, didn't you, Father Tom?
That's right. I started writing letters to the Eurovision Council demanding that African nations be allowed in. I also wrote to the EC and to the European TV networks and to Johnny Logan.
And I think I got a letter from you as well, Father Tom.
Well, it was related to another matter, in fairness, Donna. But I'll send on the information if you like. I have a few pamphlets that I did up for the campaign. I sent a few to Butch Moore as well a few years back. And young Niamh Kavanagh signed a petition for me. I was particularly delighted about that because I love a nice Irish redhead.
Oh, God
a
knows
nice
she's nothing else to
earthy,
do,
fresh,
Father Tom.
dirty
Anyway, as
redhead.
part of your campaign, you've been picketing the song contest for years, isn't that right?
That's right, Monica. I fly out to the host city each year and I chain myself to the railings of the venue as a protest over the continuing refusal to admit African nations. I had a bit of difficulty last year, seeing as how there was no railings,
Right.
but I manacled myself to a cowshed at the other end of the town, and hey presto, the picket was achieved.
And this year you'll be chained to the railings of the point.
I will,
yeah?
Monica. Myself and Father Pat Buckley will have the handcuffs out. We'll be carrying the tribal spears of the Inkatha as a symbol of the African continent. And Father Pat is making a ceremonial headdress for the occasion.
Lovely, Father Tom. Well, I'll certainly look out for you on my way into the show. I'm bringing Henry Mount Charles Davida. I saw him with Twink last year and I booked him on the spot, even as his own tuxedo. Well, we'll move on.
And this one is me and Dada on top of the Empire State Building.
That's very impressive looking. What's this one?
Oh, that's a cheeky little one I snapped of Dana getting out of the bath.
Oh, dear.
I broke into her room to sneak that one.
Terrible man, Jack Kelly. You're as bad as one of those naughty little peeping Toms we saw down at the live sex show in Times Square.
Welcome back, listeners. We're just talking about Tomas McGilla. Now, the World Cup is almost upon us, and everybody's going berserk, writing and recording hit songs for the occasion. The shops are flooded with World Cup records that are keeping the Stop the Killing single off the top of the charts and willfully escalating the war in Northern Ireland. And Garrett Fitzgerald, former world leader and football hooligan extraordinaire, has written his own contribution to the slaughter. Isn't that right, Garrett?
Well, I don't see it in that way, Monica.
Really?
I wrote a World Cup song, as you know,
Yes.
which I've been asking you to let me air on the show for the entertainment of the listeners, who I know enjoy my singing. I've got a bulging postbag.
I don't doubt it, Garrett. I know how many colouring competitions you enter. Anyway, listeners, I've told Garrett that he can sing his song today.
Hooray!
Because I wasn't sure that Donna would make it back through customs in one piece. That Eurovision frock can conceal a rake of duty-free, Davina. So here he is, Dr. Garrett Fitzgerald, singing his own composition, Off to USA, accompanied, as always, by the ever-versatile Carmencita Hedgerman. Take it away, Carmencita.
Carmencita, technically I can't reach a note like that. I'm a baritone by trade. Lower. My sandwiches are packed, 8 egg and onion, 2 cheese, 3 ham. And I'm taking a litre of milk because I'm a growing man. I've put them in my travel bag with my rain hat just in case. And on my brand new passport there's a big smile on my face. Because ole, ole, I'm off to USA. On flight EI-507, departing 908. And when I touch down in New York at 6 the following day, with approximately 5,200 others, I'll cheer Ireland all the way. I've been to the credit union and secured £4,100, which given the current exchange rate should be enough to go around. My good suit's in the cleaners and my bag is in the hall. I've slipped a couple of chalk ices in cause I'm planning to have a ball. Because ole, ole, I'm off to USA. On flight EI-507, departing 908. And when I touch down in New York at 6 the following day, with approximately 5,200 others, I'll cheer Ireland all the way. Today I'm a World Cup statistic, but tomorrow I go ballistic. Because ole, ole, I'm off to USA. On flight EI-507, departing 908. And when I touch down in New York at 6 the following day, with approximately 5,200 others, I'll cheer Ireland all the way. Ole!
Well done, Dr. Fitz. Well done.
And then he leapt over the parameter fence, stark naked, and proceeded to urinate all over the people kneeling on the far side.
Oh, well done, former world leader.
Thank you.
Come back and join this fascinating discussion about Tomás McGilla.
Thank you very much, Monica. I put a great deal of work into it.
You got £4,100, did you?
What? Oh, yes, from the credit union. Yeah, that's right. It's a very attractive, special, easy terms loan.
And how much do you owe the Stop the Killing Fund, former international statesman and World Cup chanteur extraordinaire?
I don't owe anything to Stop the Killing, Monica. If anything, the fund should reimburse me for...
And what about all the
fares
money
and
you
sandwiches.
squandered at Cheltenham?
What?
I seem to recall you emptied the entire peace campaign kitty, Garrett Fitzgerald.
Monica, you told me to put that money on a horse.
£4,100, I seem to recall.
It was not. It was £524 to be exact.
Inflation, Garrett. You caused it. You should take it into account. I'll tell you what. Let's call it £4,000. You can keep the £100 to buy a few football videos.
Monica, that money is mine. Well, at least it belongs technically to the credit union, but they gave it to me. I'm going to America.
You are not, Dr. Fitzgerald. You give that money to me so that the people of Northern Ireland might live.
And dead.
Now, you either hand it over or you leave this studio now. Which will it be? Huh? Now, look at that for a face, Davina. He'll start holding his breath any minute now. And you should have brought those sandwiches in with you, ex-world leader. We'll move on. Now, tinkers. Aren't they marvellous?
Oh, yes.
They're such valued members of the community. They pop up where you least expect them, and there's even one in Glenroe. And yet, strangely, they remain outsiders and second-class citizens in our world. Festi O'Flaherty, welcome. Watch your handbag, Davina.
Hiya, Mum.
Thanks, Monica.
Now, Festi, You're a member of one of Ireland's best-known tinker families, isn't that right?
Well, we prefer the term traveller ourselves, Monica. Tinkers are actually people who mend pots and pans, and my family's never been involved in that.
No, too much like working for a living, I suppose. Anyway, Festy, you and your fellow travellers are still looked down upon by many ordinary people, taxpayers and the like. How do you feel about that?
Well, we're aware that the settled community harbours many prejudices against us. And what I'm personally involved in now is a new scheme to re-educate the settled community towards us travellers. I suppose you could say we're calling a truce.
Oh, so you'll be giving me back my lawnmower then, will you?
I'm not aware of any lawnmowers in the plan, Monica. If I could just give you some of the details.
Oh, yes, go on, lovey. We're all ears. And Davina, wrap the strap of your bag round your leg.
Well, we're organising holidays for settled people, families, couples, or just individuals within the travelling community this summer. We feel it's a way to bring the two peoples closer together.
You know, I was taken by the gypsies when I was a baby.
Were you really, Father Tom? I was taken by the fairies.
I was in the gutter by mistake. My mother, Gaga, had thrown me out with the bath water. And the gypsies took me away and reared me for 8 years before Gaga finally had them thrown into prison.
Right. Festy, go on, lovey. Holidays with the travellers. Sounds fascinating. What's involved exactly?
Well, the holiday makers will come and stay in one of our caravans right in the heart of the travelling community and live as travellers for a week or two. They'll get to sample the travelling life from inside the community.
And they'll travel round with you, is that right?
Well, not really. We don't actually do much travelling, just staying in by the road mainly. But you get to see all human life by the side of a dual carriageway, let me tell you.
No, I know, lovey. And so does Davina. She's the Gillian Tailforth of the anti-charity movement, Donna. Bit of a history.
Pass over that, Megan, please.
So, Festy, how will the holidaymakers spend their days?
Well, they'll be housed in our most modern caravans with fully fitted kitchen and their own bucket. And they can cook or have a bit of a laugh with the other travellers, watch the cars go past, have a fight, whatever. We don't want to structure the holiday too much. I know people like to organise their own time.
And what about nightlife, Festy O'Flaherty, tinker and travel agent extraordinaire?
Well, again, we leave it up to the individual, Monica. Some holiday makers might want to do their own thing, though we would encourage them to join in with us at night, hanging around outside pubs, trying to persuade passers-by to go in and buy us drink. There's a tremendous community spirit among the travellers, and we'd like to share that with the settled folk.
Well, we're all God's children.
There are great people, you know, for that sharing what they have.
Well, we feel that we've taken a lot from the settled community.
Like my lawnmower.
And now we want to give something back. We want the children of settled and travelling families to grow up together, respectful of each other's traditions and customs, and we hope these holidays will further that plan.
Fabulous. And I've no doubt but that you'll succeed, Festy.
Yeah.
And I'll guarantee you there won't be a stick of furniture in your house when you get back, Davina. Stay with us, Festy. We're watching you. And keep that pie board away from the Caravaggio. We'll move on.
So the guardian refused to name the man, and then the bishops called upon the paper, demanded of them the man's name.
Oh, it's a very sordid business.
Welcome back, listeners. We've just been talking about Marty Whelan. Now, almost everybody in the country, with the exception of the inmates of St. Brendan's, psychotic nurses attacking patients, isn't it awful? But almost everybody else will be aware that I managed to stop the war in Northern Ireland this week for 3 whole days with my personal peace campaign, Stop the Killing.
Stop the killing.
And naturally enough, I couldn't let the ceasefire pass without making some gesture of peace in the heart of the war zone itself. So while Donna and Jackie were off spreading it all over the States, myself and Garrett Fitzgerald and the other celebrity women headed to Belfast to release a single white dove for peace from the roof of the city's highest building. It was a day I don't think any of us will ever forget. Roll it there, Orla, and give Garrett Fitzgerald a puck, will you? He's gone completely blue in the face.
I'm not really sure, Monica, that this is the highest building. There's one over there. It looks much taller. That post office tower-y
Look,
thing.
Garrett, if you want to risk life and limb for a bunch of people who couldn't organise a one-legged man in an arse-kicking contest, that's fine. This'll do. Hello, listeners. We're here on the roof of Anderson and Macaulay's in the heart of Belfast. There's a 5% discount for the first person in to say, I listened to RTE Radio 1 and I helped Monica Moody stop the killing.
Stop the killing.
And we're going to release a single white dove as a gesture of peace to this war-ravaged city. Gemma, where's the dove?
Norma had it in the pub, Monica.
Right.
Drinking the froth off her pipe. It was most amusing.
I can imagine. Hey, Norma, where's the bird?
Where's the bird? Oh, God. Oh, here. Hang on. It's in one of my bags. Hang on.
Help her find it there.
Get it.
Look at that, Garrett. Single-handedly saving the Irish distilling industry and ending the war in Northern Ireland simultaneously. Isn't she marvellous? Give us a go, the naggin bowler. And mind the Caravaggio, Eileen. The high winds could carry it off.
Oh, I think there's something wrong with Terry, Monica. She seems to have collapsed over there.
Oh, yes, look.
Look at her. Screwdriver in mouth, stripping the lid off the roof like a pro.
Oh, is that
If there was an award for celebrity enterprise, Terry Keane would win it every time, Gareth.
Indeed. Here's the shoebox, Monica.
Right.
It was in with Norma's cigarettes. I made a little hole in it so that the birdie could see out.
Oh, just give
Hello,
it to me,
birdie.
former world
Hello,
leader. And I hope this
birdie.
bloody thing can fly. Don't go too near the edge, bowler. There go the sunglasses. Come back over, Gillian. I'm releasing the dove. Come on, girls.
Right, we're going to release the dove.
Girls, I've a tenor says it doesn't make it across to that rooftop there. Right.
Going to hit a car.
Here we go. Oh, Gareth, that's a pigeon, not a dove.
Oh, the man at the pet shop
It
said
isn't
so.
even white, for God's sake. Call in all bets, Norma. We can't release a symbolic animal that isn't white. Wait a minute. Orla's goat, that's white.
Monica, I really don't think you should take that goat away from Orla. She's very attached to it.
Hold her
And that's
down,
the Father
Gemma.
Tom Dowsey.
Rise it off her. Look at her. White-knuckled. Orla, Kieran, let go of that goat this instant or you'll go over with it. Come on, girls, now. Come on, now, throw it over. Go on. Yes,
Oh, no, look at the mess.
Orla, Kieran, you saved the day. The people of Belfast have their blood sacrifice. Terry Keane's got 2 sackfuls of lead. We've a rake of duty-free. And I, Monica Moody, have made another historic broadcast. Well, I think we deserve a drink after that, girls. Actually, they're lovely terracotta pots, aren't they, Maureen? Here, chuck the plants off the roof and stick a couple of those pots into Terry's sack. Tell my Mansfield will pay a fortune for them. Here, give us that naggin there, will you, Weber?
What a senseless waste of animal life.
Throwing Orla Kieran's goat off the roof of Anderson and Macaulay's there for peace in Northern Ireland. And Garrett Fitzgerald, you can take that puss off your face. You wouldn't have enjoyed the World Cup anyway.
I don't wish to talk about it.
Poor Dr. Fitzgerald. He looks so sad.
And you can stop looking at me like that, Father Tom Doughty. We needed a sacrifice. It was as simple as that.
I love that goat.
Fine. Honestly, Davina, I've ended the war in Northern Ireland. I've almost ended the war in Bosnia, and I've had a hand in blowing up a couple of African presidents. But that's just not good enough for Dr. Garrett Fitzgerald and Father Tom Darcy. Orla, bring over the postbag.
Are there many letters in about your peace campaign, Monica?
I don't know, Jackie. They only arrived this afternoon.
Oh.
The new postal service. Isn't it marvellous? Look, here's one for Thelma. Don't know how that got in here. Oh, look. Oh, didn't know they'd put banking charges up again. Father Tom, this looks like your writing to Butchmore, care of RTE.
Do you remember those old stamps, Donna? And that one was only
Oh,
tuppence.
Garrett, here's one for you.
I don't want it.
Fine. Donna, open Garrett's letter there, will you?
Oh, okay, it's fine. It is. Dr. Fitzgerald, hang on, it's from the colouring competition people. You've won an all-expenses-paid trip to the World Cup.
What? Let me see.
Where does it say?
It says, you, Dr. Gareth Fitzgerald, ex-world leader, have impressed us with your colouring in of Spooky the Squirrel, and we hereby award you a trip to the USA for the World Cup.
Well done, Gareth.
I won.
Because I knew it was there all along,
Hang on,
Donna.
and it says here, Dr. Fitzgerald, that you have to bring another person, a parent or guardian.
Here, where does it say that? Well, Gareth, I've always felt like a mother to you. In many ways, you're the adult child.
Father Tom Darcy.
What?
I want to bring Father Tom Darcy.
Oh, don't be ridiculous,
I'd be
Gareth.
honoured, Dr. Fitz, to go along as your travelling companion on this particular excursion, but it won't clash with the Eurovision now, will it?
yes.
Because I'm tied up that weekend.
Fine, I didn't want to go anyway. Love nor money wouldn't drag me to the States this summer. Paul McGrath, Davina, I'll say no more. I can't bear to be in the same country as him. It makes me break out
I
in
remember
a sweat.
Paul McGrath.
I wake
I was on
up
the
every night screaming just
with
thinking
very
about him.
big knees.
Look, we'll leave it. My thanks to all my guests. I'm Monica Moody. I've ended 2 wars, but apparently that counts for nothing around here. Will you let me in?
She's right.
And Orla, go through that post bag with a fine-tooth comb. My spooky squirrel was streets ahead of Garrett's. I must have won something.
Monica Moody was brought to you by Pauline McLynn, Jonathan White, Pom Boyd, Niamh Linehan and Peter Hanley. Monica Moody was devised by Gerry McNamara. The script was by Fiona Looney and the programme was produced by John Caden.